These are the best controller settings in Battlefield 6. These settings will have you gunning everybody on the map and working your way to having the best aim assist possible on Battlefield 6. Let's not waste any time though and jump into it. All right, so now that we are in settings, let's go over every setting you guys need to do because there is a lot in Battlefield 6. Up first, you're gonna wanna make sure you turn down your tendinitis. This is for when you get, blown up or flashbanged in the game. After that, head on to graphics quality settings and go to camera effects. Now for camera effects, you're going to set your world motion blur to 0, weapon motion blur to 0, camera shake amount to 50. Reduce sprint camera bobbing is going to be set to on. Chromatic aberration is going to be set to off. After you've done that, head over to your gameplay section. For your infantry aim assist, I run mine at 40. This is all personal preference. Make sure you guys have your crouch toggle sprint set to stand. Double tap crouch for sprint slide is going to be set to off. Roll camera in landing roll is going to be set to off as well. Okay, now we're going to head over to the controller settings section. Once you go to controller, just hit triangle to edit settings, or Y if you're on an Xbox controller, and we're going to start off in the regular controller settings. Now, as you can see, my aim assist is set to 40. My field of view is going to be set to 108. My zoom sensitivity coefficient. Now, this is all personal preference. By default, it sets at 178. But anything from 133 to 178 feels phenomenal. 133 was actually what I used my zoom sensitivity coefficient in the beta for. I think anything below 178 feels great. If you go above 178, it feels very unnatural. Then for your infantry aim input curve, BF1 to BF4 is the one that I use. And then stick input acceleration presets, I use the BF4, BF3, and BF Bad Company. Now, the other ones are very good as well. I prefer to either use this one or BF1. They're just basically like right in the middle. As you see when you scroll through them, it changes your aim to left-right acceleration. So I don't like to have any acceleration. I want it to be my raw input. So I'm going to have mine set to BF4, BF3, and BF Battlefield Bad Company. Now, if you guys want to do auto tac sprint, all you have to do is click here on the sprint setting. It's going to be set to clicking in your left stick. All you have to do is bind this to up on your left stick. So if you click it, you can flick your left stick forward and it will bind to up on your left stick for you to be able to sprint. Now slide, don't touch this. All you're going to touch right here is the double tap crouch for sprint slide and set that to off. Now infantry zoom, aim sensitivity, anything between 90 and 100 on variation to your actual sense is useful. On Call of Duty, I play on a very, very high sense with almost half of that as my aim sense. But for this game, I don't really feel like I'm flicking around that much. For the most part, everything is in front of me. So I run like the 100 sense with a lower sense. Now, if you guys want to bind any of your mappings, you can do it here at the bottom. As you can see, I actually bound my L1 and R1 to my shoot because I play on a PS4 controller and I prefer to shoot with my bumpers. So you guys can easily do that in this section. After you've completed all those, we are going to head down to joystick. So joystick is going to be set to 00100. This is going to be for your aircraft settings. And then once you are done with that, you're going to head back all the way down to the bottom and go to controller tuning. Now for controller tuning, you're going to set your vibration to minimal. I don't know if you guys use vibration. I don't personally use it. Your center dead zone is going to be set to 2. Your axle dead zone is going to be set to 2. And then your max input threshold is going to be set to 70. Then for controller right stick, it's going to be 2, 2, and 100. And then my triggers, I have those set to 5 because my triggers on my controller are actually broken. So those are just defaulted to 5, 100, and 5, 100. After we're done with that, we're going to head down to the graphics section. Now for graphics quality, I basically set all of mine to low or off. So you're going to click on the graphics quality section. You can set it to custom, and then I basically just turn mine to low if they can go low, or turn it off if they can go off. The only thing that you could change here is going to be your shadow filtering as well as your post quality processing. And you could also change your texture quality up a little bit if you wanted, but I like mine set to low for the max frames possible. Then as you scroll through these, make sure you guys turn off vignette and film grain as well as chromatic aberration. And then there's a setting called vertical sync. This adds an insane amount of input delay. Make sure this is turned off in your graphics display settings. Lastly, for your audio, go ahead and turn off that music volume and then set your sound system to 7.1 surround sound. And then your audio mix is going to be high dynamics. Now let's go ahead and jump in and show you guys some gameplay. Okay, so now that we are in the gameplay portion of the video, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about how the game feels different in comparisons to the beta. Now in the beta, my zoom coefficient was actually set to 133 and my sense was in the higher 60s by the end of the beta. So starting out though, I actually kept my zoom coefficient much higher and then lowered my sensitivity a little bit. and it kind of makes up for the over snap that happens a lot on controller. Now, I will say a major issue right now for my controller players out there. I don't know if you guys have tried sniping yet in BF6, but the biggest issue when sniping is those micro adjustments that come at angles. So like if I need to go up to the left, up to the right, or down to the left, or down to the right, it almost feels like my sensitivity moves on like a grid aspect. Like it only lets me go up and down in those small increments instead of at angles. So the biggest adjustment that I have been doing when aiming is, you know, you guys don't want to move your left stick a lot when aiming in this game. But when you have a sniper, setting up your shot with your left stick is very useful. So if you're ADS with your sniper and you need to move it like a tiny little adjustment, use the strafe to actually make your adjustment. Then you have to completely stop moving, so that way your bullet doesn't fly in a random direction and you'll be good to hit your shot. Because if you are moving while you snipe in Battlefield 6, I promise you the bullet is not going in the direction that you want it to go. Now, the biggest issue with that, though, being said, is actually making those micro adjustments with your assault rifle. As you can see, I do somewhat strafe when I shoot, but if I strafe too much, my bullets will go everywhere. So anytime I'm in a moderate range within like 5 meters, I actually try to hip fire a lot, and I have this hip fire laser on. As you saw by that engagement right there, I was actually able to basically hip fire that guy from a mile away and continuously keep moving instead of actually just sitting still. I mean, look at this guy. I just dolphin dove backwards, and they came out of the dolphin dive and didn't even bother to ADS. Hip firing is definitely the king on Battlefield 6. Now, the gun that I'm using is not, okay? If you guys played the beta, then for the first AR actually didn't feel too bad. But playing in the actual full game launch, this game has a lot of weird recoil patterns that make the gun essentially have bloom. And on top of that, it just doesn't have a lot of damage radius. Like, it really doesn't feel like it has any hit power at all. Now, they did buff the carbine rifles. If you guys played the beta, the carbine rifles had a lot of headshot damage and like no body damage. But now the carbine rifles are doing 25 to the body. So make sure you guys are trying out the carbine rifles. And there is tons of new carbine rifles in Battlefield 6. So there is tons and tons and tons of options. I can't express it enough. I'm actually surprised with how many guns they added into the game. And with that being said, the shotgun still rules. I don't know if you guys have played much lately, but you can still just pop people from miles and miles and miles away with the shotgun. Now, the gameplay that you guys are watching right now, I was actually on like 180 ping. I showed the scoreboard like a couple of games ago, but I'm playing with my guys that are from overseas, my boy Brandon and Mike Revolt and Steven. And yeah, no, I'm basically playing on UK servers. And I was dying around corners. I took so many deaths. I will say ping in this game feels pretty bad. In the beta, it didn't feel bad at all. But it definitely is pretty bad in this game as far as, you know, pinging, getting shot around corners and stuff like that. So hopefully Battlefield makes some adjustments into the servers. It really felt like it wasn't that bad at all in the beta. As you can see, though, right there, like I have a lot of phenomenal shots land to take that guy off the heady. But for the most part, I was getting shot around corners. Now, a couple of things that I am excited for is they did tell me that there was going to be an auto tac sprint feature in Battlefield 6. I spoke to like a dev in an offline Discord call. I don't think that update is out yet because I haven't seen it. So maybe, you know, whenever they announce more on the BR, it will come with that. Because right now, to auto tac sprint, you still have to bind up on your left stick to sprint. If you guys haven't done that yet, make sure you guys take advantage of that. If you don't want to do it, by all means, don't do it. The only thing that is a downside of binding up on your left stick is it makes it hard to walk really slow whenever you actually like want to slow walk something while being in a hip fire reticle, because hip firing is so good on Battlefield. But I will say you could just, you know, ADS and slow walk the corner just like the same way that you would do it on Call of Duty. So it's just a little bit of an adjustment that you have to get used to, but I do think it's worth it because I do like being able to auto tac sprint. It saves me in a lot of scenarios, as you saw like in the clip where I turned on that guy. Even right here, like when I have the shotgun out, I'm able to just fully stop moving my left stick. And it allows me to hit more shots, because if I continue to like slow walk basically while hip firing, it probably would have made the bullet go everywhere. So it does help with bloom. Having auto tac sprint, believe it or not, it allows me to kind of force myself to fully stop before I shoot. Essentially, when I'm ADSing, it's making me fully stop. I mean, that guy is just him. Like, he tried to hit some crazy stuff on me. Then I caught all these guys with their pants down in the back of the room. There was nothing they could do when I walked in there with a shotgun. This was not the best play out of me. I thought I could just run at him and he was just going to give it up, but he held irons on me. 64 and 24 isn't bad considering that I literally didn't get rezzed one time this entire game. If I was like holding hands with a medic, I probably would have finished the game like 64 and 5. But not bad gameplay. If you guys enjoyed it, man, hit that sub button and we'll see you in the next one.